Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera from NBC Trading Academy with today's pre-market forecast for Monday, July the 8th. Let's look at our news items for the week. Big, heavy Federal Reserve week. We have the chairman speaking tomorrow. We also have him testifying on Wednesday and also on Thursday about 10 o'clock in the morning. We have the Fed minutes at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. So this is going to be a very heavy laden Federal Reserve week, including also on Friday. We can't forget this. We have core PPI, PPIMM on Friday. So it's a pretty interesting week in reference. And by the way, this is one that I was trying to highlight. It's the one on Thursday, CPI, which is core price index, which we're talking about inflation. So that's going to be really important for us to watch. So keep your eyes open. Inflation, the Fed speaking, market moving up, economy continues to heat up. It's gonna have a lot of implications in the market this week. So keep your eyes open for that piece of information. Let's start our analysis with our daily chart, coming off the all-time high at 3,375, our all-time high, which we established here a couple of days ago. Market is coming off the highs. Obvious move. Remember, markets, they establish highs, they go across that border to the unknown, and they tend to retrace from the areas. It's more of it's more of people just collecting profit, saying, is this going to go on? Is this going to go on? Well, technically, I don't foresee any reason why it shouldn't. Although we did it at a very low volume, when we have go up like that with low volume, we tend to always have some sort of correction. But we can retrace, and our next area of retrace will probably be this area here. And we'll see it a little bit closer sooner, or our 20 SMA here. Let's look at our projection chart where we're still looking at areas, potential areas the market may move. This is the activity from previous week. Here's where we need to be looking at the movement for this day. But we do have this area here, which is the all-time high, and potentially higher areas to the north of the high. And if we move lower, we have this trend line, which is consistently keeping the market up. If we break that area, we have areas below us that we can look at potential price action areas. Let's look at our analysis chart here so we can get close to our trading session here. Again, we're in between these two areas. We do have a higher level compression coming from this area here and from this area here, from the intraday low and the all-time high. We see the confluence of these areas here. See, the market is compressing between those two areas here. What can the market potentially do? Well, like I said, here's our first test of support. Anything lower than that, we're looking probably somewhere around this area here. If we bounce off here, obviously first area of support of resistance is going to be this area here. And actually we can just do this to make it clear. It's pretty much this area here, in that order. That's how it works, in that order. And if the market breaks, like I said, if the market breaks lower, breaks this trend line here, expect market to move lower. Market comes up here and it breaks through, then expect to go here. And then after that, that's when the market really is going to decide its direction. That's the north-south line of our markets right now. These are the true trend lines that we need to keep an eye on. This intraday high, intraday low, anything in between here is structural. But if you're going to trade this, just make sure you buy it on the dip, sell it on the rebound. That's the best way to handle it. Excuse me. Trade chart here. Again, you can see the same thing. There's our compression. There's the market coming off the intraday high. And these are the areas that we were discussing here previously. You can see them much more clearly here. Here's our support. We break through. We're expecting somewhere around here. We break higher above these areas here. Then we're just expecting the market to go try retest. Now remember, volume is key. We don't have very much volume right now as compared to our last session here, but it's still early, so we may end up a little bit more volume. But remember, when there's very little volume, things happen slowly. Market can have a direction. The market can say, I want to go up, and it can do it regardless of the volume. But when we have volume and we have a direction, that's when the market becomes a little bit easier to trade. So just remember, buy the dips and sell these retracements coming off these areas. Thank you and have a great session.